আফাদ, না ওইটা কোথায় মানে বুঝতেছি না, এটা মানে এলোমেলো লাগতেছে। কারণ এটা মনে হয় তোমার ফোল্ডার ছিল। All right, let's get started. So far, I have Azad Bhai, Zakir Bhai, Khalil Bhai, Shajib. Anyone else joining, you think?
Assalamualaikum, Shamsu. How are you?
Walaikum salam. How are you?
I'm fine. Sorry, I was busy, so that's why.
No, that's fine. Anyone else joining today?
Hmm? No. It's okay. I'll continue. No problem.
Oh, okay. All right, so we can start now, I guess. It's 7:07.
Alaikum Shamsubai.
Walaikum assalam. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, Mr. Azad?
Good. How are you?
Very good. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum, Shamsu bhai.
Yeah.
How are you?
Very good. How are you?
Yes, good. Thank you.
So, as you know already, that this session is solely designed for the question answer and interview preparation. So today I will be actually going over a few items that's it's very important for us to go through. I want to make sure everyone get a chance to upload their resume on the site, and also I want to discuss about the general questions based on the what can come on the interview. Give me 1 second. Should I have to call? See this. Sorry about that. Yeah. So as I was saying, like we are going through few couple of items to make sure you all actually had a chance to upload the resume on the uh, designated folder that you create that was created for you. Also want to discuss about the general questions, uh, uh, like basic questions, and go through like I would like to hear from you, like some of the question I will be asking you, and we also want to talk about a generic resume. I will be sharing the resume with you all. That is like something most likely you will be getting like 90, I would say 90% of the question coming from the global resume that we created, and we'll be sharing that also after the session today. Also, I would like to give some in-depth info about the group session, mentoring sessions. Like there are, a lot more slot empty. If you had not had chance to, input your date, I recommend you to do that. So let's go through the first thing is so I'm going to the folder right now. I'm gonna go to that folder, see if you had a chance to upload. So how many you had uploaded the resume? You all did, brother Azad. You had a chance to upload the resume.
No, Shamsubai, not yet.
Not yet. How about Jakir?
Brother, I already uploaded my resume. Can you
Okay.
please check it
Yeah.
again?
Okay. I'm checking it.
Whatever I have, I already submitted all of this.
Okay. Khalil, brother Khalil.
I'm gonna do it today after class.
Okay. And how about Brother Shajib?
Same thing. Today I will be upload.
Okay, because we're gonna start working on that starting from this weekend. So make sure you do that by Friday. Try to do it by Friday. You don't have to change anything. Whatever you have, just load it in there. Based on that, we'll be working on that. Okay. So the do you guys have any question? Anything about in general so far? Like from the last session. No.
Brother, you can keep continuous. If we get any question, we will let you know.
Okay, so I will be asking you actually question. I would like to hear from you. So because this session is being recorded, and we're gonna keep on listening those recording over and over and give feedback based on the recording of what you say when I ask a question. That way we can know whether you are actually answering it correctly or not. One of the first question we all get from interviewer is that they want to know like about tell me about yourself. That is the first question at the interview they ask. And actually, yesterday I took an interview. One of the person came for Selenium and automation in general, and we asked the question, and the person able to answer the question very clearly. But the problem is from the answer, interviewer will be asking a lot more question. Some interviewers will not even look at the resume. They will continue the conversation based on what you actually say in the first 30-second or a minute discussion first, when they ask you for tell me about yourself, or tell me about your background, or tell me about what you did in your last project. So most likely you'll be covering everything that you have on the resume, and briefly summarize what you have done in your career, IT career. So if you have a resume with let's say six years of experience, and they want to know like in high level of what you did throughout your career in the last 6 months. So in our case, what is going to happen, the last from the very beginning of the class up until end of the class, whatever you have done in general, I would like to hear from each of you to give me a brief of what you have done. If I want to ask you, tell me about yourself, right? I would like to hear from you. So one of you can volunteer and tell me, like, in general, whatever comes on your mind. So that way you don't have to, like, practice. This is going to be a practice session at the same time. So when you do that, you will be getting, like, thinking at the same time, okay, am I telling the right things? The more you sing, and every session we want to do that, because this is the first fundamental question will be asked, and there will be several other questions I will be asking, just general from each of you. So let's get started with one. I would like to hear from. I'm going to go by alphabetical order. So, brother Ajad, can you give me a brief of background of if I ask, tell me about your background. Think of this is a interview question, and what would you say?
I could say I have been in this field, let's say 5 years, and I'm as a joined as a automated tester,
Mhm.
and those projects are under agile environment. I have done that. Um, the responsibilities are daily basis is joining in meetings and providing a status for manual and automated test results and attending sprint plan meetings and review the Jira user stories and test cases. Um, Also, we can say we can do that automated manual testing using the standard guideline of structure methodology of testing application, analyzing the business requirements, and also we can mention that we have developed that automated test script with the Selenium WebDriver using a Java-based design pattern as a web page object model. Then we can mention that preparing for test scenarios based on the requirement specification, develop the scripts and manual as well as that automated with the Selenium WebDriver. Also, we can say that I've been working at the same time at Unix level as well as the SQL level for backend testing, log tracking, and defect tracking. We are using for Jira, open source application called Jira, and we can say that also. Um, I have also doing that in addition to Selenium automation. We can say some API testing for like SOAP UI and REST API using that also for API testing. And also we have we can mention that the automation process we have using TestNG and Git is in our source code management system where our codes are researched there, and we are using Jenkins to schedule automated tasks parallelly using multiple web browsers. And also we are developing that test automation test method with the Maven project, with the Maven dependency. So, and I think those are basic. If you want me to briefly describe that.
That's actually excellent. Yeah, you have given a lot of more information. The one thing you want to mention, like when you do that, most likely you want to focus on, like, let's say you got a job requirement or a
Mhm.
position. They asking you, okay, this is the requirement for the job or this project that they want to hire you. So when you read through that job description, a company, let's say Verizon is looking for a test engineer, senior test engineer, and they're looking for Java experience, Selenium, automation, load runner, uh, web service, back-end testing experience. So based on that, you want to, before going to the interview, you want to summarize that, how can I relate to their need of what I have done so far. And
Yeah, in that case, based on the requirement, I have to focus what they are requiring and what I have to state it, saying that these are the items that I
right,
have been doing that in my previous project.
exactly, yeah,
Because I need to be correlated what I have done, what they are looking. So it's saying that okay, this guy is matching most of the items.
exactly, yeah. So they won't ask you, like, they will be just specifically going to the main task, more likely technical part. uh,
Right, right. Technically, I have to focus on what they are looking.
exactly, yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, but you want to avoid the part where it's saying, like, I have done manual part. You want to focus on, okay, yeah, I'm more an expert on the automation. So you want to visualize. They can, when you say things, they can visualize. Okay, this is the person actually saying, okay, I have done automated testing. I have built a framework, and you want to mention that I built a hybrid framework or data driven framework using the tools that mentioned on the resume, for example Selenium WebDriver, and I have integrated with a CI/CD concept, which allow us to use allow us the development team along with the process, which describe the agile methodology. So if you are using agile methodology, that is something you want to brought into the table if the company is using. So for example, if you have a build coming in every month, you guys are familiar with the build, right? Like build to release.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Build.
brother Azad most likely have done seen that. So there every software deploy in the production environment before it goes to production, there is a several stages that has to go through. Uh, Testing stage is one of them where you will be working on, and after that there might be another stage where the end user will be testing. And then it will go to production. So there is a breakdown of like 2 weeks build. Some places they do actually weekly, or some they do daily basis. It depends on how the environment looks like. So once you have a build, you want to make sure the development team, when they push the code to the testing environment, the test script should be able to automatically run the script in a cloud environment. So that is when the continuous integration comes in play. You have a integrated your testing with the DevOps. So they when the code move to the testing environment, it will automatically the check the health of the application. The application is stable enough to continue the test. So basically, when you have a test, you have a test cases for, let's say, one test cases. Uh, just plug in as a yes to make sure it launches the application, be able to log in. That is your smoke test. Make sure the application is stable. Then if the application goes to the login environment, login page or landing page, then it should pick up the rest of the test and generate a report and send it to appropriate people, or whatever, wherever the test results should be stored, and return the results. So that can be done overnight, on the weekend, or you may not know when it's happening. If you have a setup, let's say you schedule the test on the you don't have you schedule the development team. Usually DevOps does that. They actually schedule the build to process in the testing environment. As soon as they do, it will automatically kick off the automated test that you created, and uh, continue the testing environment. So that way you want to mention that, okay, this way we are actually doing the return of investment. So that means you don't have to wait for the next build to process. Your testing is happening immediately. So you want to like a little bit highlight those also, because they want to hear something, how we going to save money when you actually when we hire some automation engineer expert on the bring expert in our team. So these are the keyword you want to mention, like how it actually save in your brief. What else in the description? So that was a great actually explanation. And when you say that, because we will be repeating this every session for the practice purpose. uh, when you say that, assuming you are sitting in front of interviewer, because this is something, if you can confidently say that, they will be maybe like not gonna ask you a lot more question, unless heavy technical person is there. But more likely there is a higher chance that you want to give the first impression. So keep that in mind. uh, Next I want to hear from brother Jakir. Describe, like give me a background of little bit that like brother Azad said, but you want to say, don't mumble or say pause a long time. Just try to make a one conversation as if you are actually saying something in front of audience. So give me a little bit background of yourself. Brother Jakir, are you there?
Yeah, brother, I'm here.
So start from like saying like okay, my name is Jakir, as you can see on my resume, or mention something that just a little bit about you, and then describe what you have done in the Sdet project with MD
Okay.
or any team member.
Okay. My name is Mohammed Zakir Hussain. I've been in IT for over 6 years. I've done both manual and automated testing. I've been used as an automation tester on a Selenium, and for manual side, I'm written test plan, test cases, test procedure, and test scenario. I developed a simple and complex query in SQL using Oracle. I'm very comfortable with Linux, Unix, and the Windows operating system. I performed a small functional regression, integration, and performance testing based on the test cases. I also written test traceability metrics. I've also used a rational case, HPLM, for bug tracking tools. I assist also end user to perform user acceptance testing. In my current assignment, I was also doing look like that. And as a automation tester, I have been developing a different test framework using Maven repository. And also, my current project as an automation tester. I was also working on a Cucumber framework using Gardening languages. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, that was great. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so brother Jakir actually mentioned he has been working in the IT industry for over 6 years, and he also mentioned that he has done automation and manual testing. And so, try not to mention like manual testing as far as if you do manual testing, like, I have done manual testing, but you want to focus morely on, automation testing. And try to mention the framework, you know, bring the keyword framework, because interviewer, not maybe technical person wants to hear, but the non-technical, they know about the word frameworks, hybrid frameworks, how you did it. So that keyword you want to mention as well. That was great.
Okay, and then shall I use the hybrid framework or data-driven or keyword-driven
Yeah,
framework? Shall I use that?
you should mention, you take a note on that. Always, make sure you mention the data driven keyword and hybrid. When they ask you, okay, can you define what is hybrid framework, they might ask you what is hybrid framework or what is data driven
Is a
framework.
combine, right? Is the combine of hybrid and combine of data-driven and keyword-driven framework, right?
Yeah, it's basically, you want to take the module test script combine into a data driven, so you have a sets of data coming from database or a spreadsheet or any places, and
Yeah.
you want to.
One most recently, currently, one prime vendor, she was gonna be ask me like that, what kind of framework you guys are using right now. So I said like that right now I was using a hybrid framework. So what is hybrid framework? So I said that hybrid framework is gonna be keyword and data-driven framework is combination of most of the framework
Okay.
is
Yeah, basically you want to
like that.
mention also, like, we have developed a customized hybrid framework based on our
So
needs.
so customers hybrid framework, what is that?
So the reason why I'm saying customized, because the hybrid may be environmental related. Like, let's say you're working in Citibank environment, right? And their application is totally different than application in Chase Bank or some other banking industry. And so you developed a application, you created a class files or all the jar files that related to the framework only for the bank, Citibank, that you work on. So you customize that framework solely for that specific reason. So that actually tells, like, okay, know how to develop a customized framework, so you can start from scratch. And that's the keyword also. I developed a framework from the scratch. So basically, you are referring, saying, okay, even if you don't have anything, I am the one who can actually take the initiative of designing a framework and develop a a very powerful framework that can be repeatedly used. The framework can be generic to the project that you will be working on. So you want to mention those keywords. The reason why you want to mention all those keywords in your brief introduction.
So if I mention that I developed a framework from scratch, so they maybe ask for what kind of repository and what kind of language you guys are using, and
Yeah,
what kind of
they might ask
then
you
what
all
I
sorts of
mentioned.
questions. Yeah, they will be asking
Yeah,
all kinds of questions
then what shall I to the uh, interviewer?
in regards to the language.
Yeah, yeah, Scratch framework or something.
So for your case, you since you have been doing Java, so you want to make sure you mention Java, because if a person know Java, a basic like whatever we have covered in the core Java, object oriented part, that is something they want to hear from you. They're definitely going to ask you some Java question, so that will be covered in the MD Alam's sessions. He will be going through all the detailed on the subject matter, but I'm going in a general, like what might come and what would be the question they will be asking. So when you say I developed a framework, they might ask you what kind of framework you developed, how did you start the framework, and several other questions will become. So we'll be discussing those once we actually go through the introductory part from all of you. So let's start with brother Khalil.
Thank you. Um, Actually, I didn't organize for the Selenium so much, but before Selenium, I knew little bit about for the testings. So my one will be not like so organized, but I can just start it.
Just tell me like whatever you have
Well, I
covered
have
in
been,
the whatever you have done in the
Brother,
yeah,
uh,
brother.
yeah.
At
So
my point of view, at the language purpose, I was using Java, right? And the frame and the repository purpose, I using Maven. And what? Yeah, previously I mentioned the Cucumber framework, right?
right, cucumber framework for probably reporting you did, right?
Yeah. For shall I mention that one too?
Yeah, you should be mentioning all the tools that you use in your automation. So that way it
Okay.
highlights, because there are a lot more tools actually used in the Selenium framework when you worked on it.
Okay. So at the organized, if I want to organize my, tell me about yourself, and you also hear about my view, right? So what was the next step for me? So you know,
Oh, we'll come to we want to hear from you based on the background. Basically, I would like to hear like most of the items that you did on the Selenium and Java part, like mostly on
yeah,
Selenium. There is
and, I all we guys all I think you already mentioned that our resume, whatever we put into the market, but lots of things we don't know about our resume, right?
so
Whatever we
yeah.
did on past. So whenever you guys are making our resume for the next time, I think uh, do it as a basic from the is just like a whatever we it's easier for us and the healthcare or not for that not for the based on our reason, do it for independently. I just don't want to give you one suggestion from me.
Okay. Yeah, I take that note also.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So, Brother Khalil, you don't have to be
yeah,
organized, because
yeah,
the
okay,
first one so just tell like what two
yeah.
keys
I can
technology
start.
you did,
Okay.
and you want to start with
Well,
your name, and then you tell
yeah,
okay what you have done in the Selenium project, what kind of application you develop. You can mention Putlocker or whatever the application you tested. For now, you can mention that, but when your resume comes, you just want to make sure you mention the what is on the resume.
okay. My name is MD Ibrahim Khalil. I have been working as a software test analyst for the last 5 years. And during the last 5 years, I was heavily involved with various phases of software development lifecycle, like waterfall, B model, and agile methodologist. Most of the times, I was involved in manual testing as well as automation testing using HP Quality Center, ALM, Microsoft Test Manager, and QTP and Selenium automation tools. I have tested during the last 5 years client server and web-based application and work with multiple operating systems like Windows and Unix environment. My current project for the Selenium, we are using customized hybrid framework, um, and this is we newly bring up. So I'm also working with my senior test analyst. I'm in now in training session. So during the last 5 years, I have successfully performed smoke testing, system testing, functional testing, backend testing, black box testing, integration testing, regression testing. I also deeply involved analyzing business requirement, participate requirement review meeting, and provide input to ensure requirement makes sense, clear, and testable. And also I reviewed design document, writing test plan, test report, test case, test scenario, create test data, do requirement mapping, test execution, running report, and log defect. I attend all the project and walkthrough meeting. That's
Okay, that was excellent. Yeah, you mentioned a lot of things. One item I want to highlight when you said I was heavily involved manual testing and automated testing. You want to say manual testing maybe briefly, or you don't have to mention it, but try to say when you say heavily involved in developing automation testing, that is something you want to put in there instead of saying manual testing. And try to say whatever it comes on your brain instead of looking on piece of paper or anything, because when you're actually saying it, you are actually making sure you are doing a eye contact. So
yep,
in this conversation right now, look at your camera as if you're thinking everyone is seeing you right now in this
yep,
we are 7 people on the team, so we are actually conducting a basically a interview. Think of this way: we are conducting an interview and there are 7 other people listening to you. Don't think that these people know you. Imagine that these are like interviewer, you don't know, and they are listening you. So make sure you do that, because when you do a face-to-face interview, you don't have, even if I'm sure you're looking at piece of paper. Am I right, brother Khalil?
yeah.
Yeah, because I can tell. And try not to looking at the paper, do it on the other side, but when you say it, just try to just go over whatever it comes on your brain, because that tells, okay, this person, even you make a mistake, or even if you not saying it everything in order, or but you are putting all those keywords in there in your sentence, still that is
Yep.
acceptable. And when you memorize things and say it from your memory, okay, I'm going by line, that means interviewer will likely to know, okay, this person memorized the whole thing, and they might
Yep.
give a negative feedback for some people actually do. So that's also one of the things. And you want to highlight more tools in when you say it, like, okay, I use Git, I use GitHub, or browser stock, Sauce Lab. Nobody actually, I don't know if anyone mentioned about Sauce Lab. Do mention cloud based testing as well, continuous integration, as brother Abdul Azad actually mentioned. He actually went very thorough, so he mentioned a lot of thing in there. So take a note when you hear other person is saying, try to focus on what he's saying, like take a note of those keyword, because those are the keyword you want to put it in a piece of paper, and when you practice, you want to cover those keywords in there. All right, so next, Mahabub. Brother Mahabub, are you there?
Hello. Sorry. Do you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, brother.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for giving me opportunity to introduce myself. My name is Mahabub, and I am as an automation tester. So I have 5 years experience. I started my career as automation tester in XYZ company before 5 years. So my last project I done actually like the agile methodology. So we had actually daily base the like scrum meeting and to attend scrum meeting. So and to report what I do, and I have like any roadblock or and what I have a plan for tomorrow. And for automation, I actually doing like Selenium automation. So I write Selenium automation test cases for Selenium, and also I done in some web-based application on SUPI. Thank you for giving me opportunity, and if you know some details, you can ask me.
Okay, great. Okay, brother Mahbub, you said UI on web-based application. Did you say that?
Yeah,
Okay. So are you familiar with SOAP UI?
yeah, I know like some about SUPI, like
Okay.
some basic.
Okay. So can you tell me like why we use SOAP UI?
SUPI for web-based application.
No, we use SOAP UI for web-based or there are reason, but SOAP itself is a protocol that we use for web service. And
Yeah.
okay, so you know that. Okay, great. All right. So yeah, but try to go more the automation part because that is the something you want to mention more details, framework, tools, highlight Selenium itself. Uh, try to mention about the open source tools that you use. So the previous company don't want to uh, spend a lot of money, so they want to invest on open source and be able to generate high level framework. All right, so brother Shazib.
Shamsu please, I need more 2 times, 2 minutes because right now I am so
Oh,
customer is in my chart. So after 2 minutes, I will call you.
okay. All right. So I have actually we're gonna go over like just general question. I'm gonna go over, and there are some actually definition you'll be seeing. So one of the question might be asked, what is automation testing? And not looking at the definition itself is saying, okay, automation testing is the process of conducting a test using a varieties of tools, automation tools, that that tools should be able to generate a test script and be able to compare two contests and give us expected results. So we are actually testing a automation testing tool to be able to test any web-based application or Windows-based application. For Windows is only for other tools, but for Selenium is you want to make sure you mention the web-based application. Selenium only supports web-based application and be able to test any software that is on the browser or on a cloud base, uh, and be able to conduct two contest, compare each other and generate this report. So you want to mention, okay, we want to process the testing which will reduce the manual interval and be able to test the application in a short period of time, and the user should be able to get results within a given time. Any other thought about automation testing? If anyone asks you, what is automation, because they will be asking you from what you said and after your introductory, this is one of the questions they might ask you. Another question would be like, they want to hear from you. Give us the tools that you use, what tools you use. Even though they see on your resume, they will be they want to hear, okay, are you familiar with any of this tool? What is the tool that you use? So Selenium is one of them. And if they want to know what is Selenium, some people actually don't have any clue about automation, but they are in the interviewer and they are allowed to ask question, and they will be asking you, okay, what is Selenium? So you all have used Selenium so far. What do you think in general? Like, what is Selenium actually? Anyone can answer.
I can say something like Selenium is a web-based application testing tools for automation, and it's a free tools. And
Okay.
yeah, that's we can say easily.
What about Brother Azad? What do you think?
Yes, brother Shamshu. Selenium, it's a type of tool that working not able to work actually independently. It's a combination of the suite of the software that has a bunch of jar file in it, and it's a coordinating and it's integrated to many others. As example, Cucumbers, TestNG, JUnit, um, GitHub, and Git, and as well as Jenkins. To the combination of those software, it's just we can tell that browser to do the direction, given the direction to the browser saying that, okay, do this, do this. All we need to perform that our test case as we are doing as a human being, what we have done. For the manual purpose, we are just ask the browser to do that by combination of the software, which is Selenium and all others combination of that. And finally, we got the fail pass report and update to the management level. Those are reports, and based on the status and all those, given details of that status for daily basis, weekly basis.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
Sorry, bhai. Yeah. Now I am okay. So go ahead. So later on, okay, I will continue. No problem.
No, no, you can go ahead. Yeah, you can introduce yourself. Basically, yeah, give tell me about something about yourself. What you have done.
Actually, I don't have preparation for Selenium purpose. Actually, whatever I learned from the class, actually, I try to explain those things. So, okay, I don't know is it okay or not. So tell me about yourself. So yeah, this is Nizam. So I have been working as a automation test engineer for 5 years. So I have been on working different domains like retail and healthcare and finance domains. I have good experience over there because I work almost 2 years for retail and 1 year for finance and 1 year for healthcare. So as a tester, I have very good experience on writing test cases, preparing document all of the documents related test, making the test plan and test cases, all of those, and traceability matrix and writing bug reports. So basically, what I have to do in the real time, actually, I have successfully from automation testing. Before automate the testing, so we have to test functional all of the testings, functional testings. Also, কি বলা যায়? I am using Maven-based Java project for building executions and dependency purpose. Also, I am using TestNG for integrating the form XML file. Also, I am using Jenkins for set up the daily basis test cases. Also, make the schedule. So also Jenkins, we are using Jenkins for test results. So also we are using the version control tools like Git. So that's all about I did for my last project.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, you actually mentioned a couple of very good keywords in there, and version control is one of them. They might want to ask you about the version control, so that can be discussed later in the alarm session. He will be contacting on the further on more details on Selenium part. But these are the keywords you want to put it in there, and keywords I'll be sharing
Also,
with you.
also we are using data-driven framework. Also in the PAM, we use a lot of plugin like Action Report for reporting purpose, because Action Report is third-party tools, but it gives more creative and organizedly report. Also, we are using Log4j for getting the log status and log information from the for the our test script. Also, we are using Apache POI for reading and writing, reading Excel sheet from the data driven. So those, and also we are using a lot of classes for related for getting the information from the automations. So those things we are also using. Whatever I learned from the class, so I try to assume those things. But I don't have any script actually what I have to tell for tell me about yourself or your current project, what you did. I don't have idea about that. But whatever Alam, brother of Alam teaches us, I try to assume those things. But that is not organizedly. And as a 5 year experience, what actually what area I should tell. Actually, I don't know so that. So I need to know for around 0 to 3 years what I have to tell, and 3 to 5 years what I have to tell. Like brother of Alam, he teaches us also page object model, page classes, those things also he also teaches us. So that is, I don't know that is high level design or low level design. That should be tell in the interview time as a 5 year experience. Those things also I need to know. Thank you.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, you mentioned a lot of keywords in there. Okay, phase object model and anything related to Selenium. So, you will be hired as a test engineer, automation test engineer, or automation test analyst, whatever it's called. But you want to make sure you focus as much as automation stuff in there. So because they're focused, they don't care about whether you actually, good at documenting or not, but they want to hear more from automation. They might ask you about like general question about to get this is the person, is it right fit for a company or not. So those are the thing they will be.
Oh, one thing very, very important things I may forget to tell you. So that thing is Selenium web driver. So finding the element and identify the element, we are using CSS and SPath for dynamic change in any website. That time we are using JavaScript function also. If there is any like critical moment like drop down for getting, because there is no tag for select, so that time we cannot use select class. So that time also we are using bootstrap for getting the difficulties drop downs. So those things also how to handle all of the web elements. So I know very well. I have very good hands-on experience for web driver for getting and identify the web elements.
Okay, that's good. And also another thing you mentioned about what do you call this, WebDriver. I think few people actually mention WebDriver. Make sure you mention this also in your brief. And some people actually did mention about test case design, uh, Scrum meeting. I think someone mentioned about the meetings and making a decision. Participated all this. Those are also very good stuff in there. Make sure you mention. Uh, what you want to do, you want to gather all these keywords and make it storytelling, like, okay, you want to represent yourself, you are selling yourself to the client and telling, okay, how valuable I am and why you need me in your project. So you want to make sure you highlight that very high level and tell, okay, this is what I have done, I'm expert on this. I'm not only expert, I'm
Uh,
also you know
Sorry, brother Shamsu.
yeah.
Is it possible to make a like one paragraph story for this, link all this keyword? Because we understand whatever we did,
Yeah,
but
Shamsu bhai, one thing
মানে
yeah,
আমরা
like
চাচ্ছিলাম আপনি যদি আমাদের একটা প্যারাগ্রাফ অর্গানাইজ করে দিতেন, তাহলে আমরা এগুলা মানে আরো ব্রিফলি করতে পারতাম। কিন্তু এখন একটা বলতে গেলে এদিক দিয়ে ছুটা যায়, ওদিক দিয়ে কিছু থাকে না, আবার এদিক দিয়ে ওইটা বলে যায়।
The main problem is that we cannot speak all very well because we can, but which one will be fast and which one will be next. So we don't know about also that. So we need to organize the day-to-day activities, what we are doing for Selenium or Gravel like. So we have to tell very organizedly, sequentially, one by one. So if you make one paragraph for us for like the 3 to 5 years experience for retail, whatever, any kind of domain, retail or finance or healthcare, whatever. So you just make one paragraph. We will just follow the paragraph and try to make myself what actually because it's depend on my resume. I understand. So what I need to include in this paragraph, so I will get idea the difference on your paragraph.
Okay, yeah, that's so this is the first session, so we'll be doing this every week, twice, every Wednesday 7 to 9, and then a Saturday 7 to 9. So we'll be conducting this every week twice, so you'll be repeating the same thing at some point, like maybe 2 weeks from now or 3 weeks from now. You will automatically get to it, and I will be I took a note of it to give a generic of tell me about yourself in general, a paragraph, and forward it to you. That can be done. Yeah, definitely. But every time you say something, you try to improve yourself. Like, okay, let's say I missed some of the keyword last time, and what can I do to improve this next time when I do it? Like Saturday when you repeat, if MD alarm actually go through this, and I encourage everyone to do the same thing every session. Brief about yourself, so that's practice will come into reality, saying, okay, I have been saying this many times in front of in 6 or 7 people on the line. Everybody is listening about me, and this session is being recorded, so we'll be listening this again and again. Make sure what keyword has been missing when you say things like that. So yeah, that is I took the note of it and sharing with you later in the day.
So one sample copy. Main thing is because because in the real time, if I make one history for my project, yeah, this is my project, this is my role and responsibilities in my framework. Actually, in my real time project, actually, I have been working the Maven-based Java project. So we are using this. So it's step by step. So sometimes we miss and match. Maybe some like for me, I need to tell web driver first time, but I tell end of the time because of I forget. So I don't know where I need to use when I need to use Selenium web driver, when I need to use Jenkins. So those things is very important. Sequentially, if you make one paragraph, just sample copy, we'll follow your paragraph and we'll make ourselves based on our resume.
Okay, yeah, that's yeah, that can be done also. And
okay, thank you.
Shamsu bhai,
yeah,
I
please.
think it's a good tips is we need to talk as a natural way, not like slow, not like very fast. The way Shoziba is talking, it look like he just memorized everything. So be careful about it. Even you mention everything, they will catch you saying that, okay, this guy, the way he's first talking, he might be scared to forget. So he's just passing that line and don't talk like that. Just
Not so
normal
fast.
way.
Make sure that
Not so far.
yeah.
Nature way. Just naturally.
Actually, main thing is, Adil bhai and Shamsu bhai, main thing is here our main problem is communication. So we need to improve also our communication. So
that is the reason you need to improve. Everybody needs to improve. Myself also, but I'm saying that talk fast. It's not like making any repetition. Talk fast is saying that, okay, this is the guy, new guy, and he look like he is scared to forget the line. He's just moving around and finish up as quick as possible. So because I've been doing that, I've been conducting interview as well. Whoever doing that, we just disqualify that. It's saying that Immediately we are saying that no, this guy is memorized everything.
Yeah, so this is the basically the main reason why we have scheduled so many the question answer session, tutoring session, mentoring session, and interview, phone screening and all this, because at the end of the day, when you do all this and participate in all of this, you are talking to people, you are giving information to other people. Make sure they understand each word you say. There is we are not native American speakers, so we all are foreign speakers, so our our tone accent are not as good as people who actually born or studied abroad, I mean in US or any other country. That's
Right, right, right. If addition to that, if we talk fast, then our every word will be messing up. Nobody could understand that.
yeah,
So
speak
you need to
slowly, even if
slowly and word by word.
slowly and clearly try to do that.
Uh,
When you say that,
Yeah,
when you say things, make sure you listen that, because when you say just putting in your mouth and saying you want to just deliver the word, you don't know what you're saying, right? That's not what you want to do. You want to do something. Okay, when you process, I mean when you say this, it processes in your brain. That means you're hearing what you're saying. It also makes sense to you, and then deliver it. So this is happening in quickly, so within a short time. So make sure you think and don't concatenate two three sentence in one. Try to put a pause, say okay, I have been working in the automation industry, software test industry for many years. Mention the years you work on, and I have expert in these tools, and I also developed a framework from very scratch. And the team I started, they never had a automation testing. I am the one actually implemented the test automation, and and I was successful with that. So you want to mention all these, you want to put a kudos to you, like you did so many things that surprise those people. They think okay, they can actually make the decision immediately, not waiting for other people uh, to make the decision. All right, so
Brother from, so I do have a one small question.
sure.
So you mentioning we need to tell like we started from Selenium very scratch level, and um, like the framework you mentioned. So sometimes they ask a question like that. So why you started, or why you like that framework, or why your project gonna started by that framework?
Yeah,
So
so
what the answer should
that's a good question actually. Yeah, as Brother Azad said,
because
he
somebody
mentioned.
mentioned like he mentioned like the framework he started from the very scratch level.
Mhm.
Then they asked him, okay, why you guys started by that framework?
Okay, so you when you say things, as mentioned, when you say things, you think it, you process it in your inside, because based on what you said, there will be a group of people, interviewer will take note of what you're saying, and they're just gonna take one word or two word of what you're saying, and those will be your interview question they will be asking you. So when you say I started my framework from the scratch, they might ask you, okay, how did you start it, what what was the process of doing automation, and why they didn't have the automation. These are the questions they might ask you. These are general questions. You can think of, like, let's say if they ask you why you started from scratch, because they never had a automation testing. They are spending, they have a team of like 30 people who is doing an automation, but they are willing to hire more because their application is, the application is broader. Maybe they have like 10 applications, or 20 or 30, and because of the manual testing, the release takes so much time, or every build takes 2 3 weeks, and they cannot be, they are not on time on their release or sign off uh, for the production. So that's the reason why they introduced automation, and I was one of them on the first automation team, and we started with from scratch and developed a very high level automation that actually the framework itself actually allow us automate about 90 or 100% of the manual test cases. You can't say 100%, say like about 90% or so, because some environment there are, it depends on, let's say you're working on a application that's only web based, you can 100% automate 100% of that application. So it depends on how you say it, what application was on your resume. That's how you have to relate that. We'll go over those when you have your resume on your hand, so that way we can relate more of this at the interview sessions.
So like one thing, so if I mention I did one project from the skills level and another project I did from the like 20% of the framework is there already, 20% framework already built up. So two project, if I show that, what would be, which one would be better? So I can use both things, both project.
Oh, anything on your resume you want to mention, whichever you feel comfortable, you can relate to that. You can say, okay, maybe they're gonna ask you what are the difficulties you had or something, which you can relate to the project. Okay, we had an issue where we are not able to identify a object. It's keep on changing, so we have to use something. You always want to bring something, negative, but apply it in a positive manner, saying, okay, we had a difficulties on such application where we were unable to automate a test case that user supposed to be submitting a form, right? And every time we submitted, it keep on bringing something else and we didn't realize. So that was probably a big bug you want to introduce. And when we investigated, we found out that there is a error on the code, development code, whatever they develop. And we were, by doing the investigation, we were able to generate a critical bug in the system. So when you say something relate to it, if there is a weakness, don't bring your weakness in there. Bring the positive side of your uh, uh, the summary of what you're saying. All right. So any other question as of, I mean, basic, like?
Yeah, I'm trying to make it short. I do sorry for that. So how did you select that framework for your uh, project? So what should be the answer? Like it depends on the requirement, or as I mentioning, like I'm started from very scratch level.
Right,
Even
right.
I select the framework.
Hmm.
So how can I give the short answer? Like
How did
why did you choose this framework?
choose the what? I didn't get the question.
Now, if they ask why do you choose that framework, so what should be the answer?
Oh, okay. So let's say you developed a hybrid framework, right? I mean, for example,
Yes.
data-driven framework. You can relate, okay, the application itself designed to feed feed large number of data. So the only framework that allow us to successfully test this application is a data-driven framework. So we can able to provide a large number of data in a given time, so we can test the application within a short period of time with a large volume of data. So you can relate something that's relevant to the framework you mentioned. Even if it's a hybrid framework, you can say, okay, we have a framework that developed hybrid, and we have a spreadsheet that has all the data, all the keywords. So we have a team of 6 automation tester and several other manual tester who can actually don't have to do anything on the code side, but they can only work on the spreadsheet and test their application. For example, manual tester is testing a web application where they want to run like few test cases. They don't have to run the entire automation. So they can actually specify which test they have to run. So all they have to do, go to that spreadsheet, check yes or no, or whatever the execute you have set up, and from there the user should be able to select the test they want to test and be able to get the response at the end of the execution. So you want to refer that, okay, why we develop the hybrid framework versus the data driven framework. You want to mention the time that will reduce by, by having this framework in place. So the manual tester don't have to look into the code. All they have to do maintain a one document or one spreadsheet that has all the list of the test cases, and whatever the test cases they want to run, they can just check those and run the test in a remote machine or whatever the setup you have. Let's say you have it in a cloud. All they have to do, push the play that button and run it. Maybe the manual tester, each of them has a Eclipse setup. All they have to do is open the Eclipse and click on run. They are not supposed to do anything else, and maintain that spreadsheet which one they want to run. So you want to highlight that part also, how manual people actually not losing their job, but they are actually how important they are also in the test environment, because you don't want to take that responsibility as a like high level. Let's say you are an automation tester, you don't want to be, okay, I am the one who's going to run the test every time. We have a like 3,000 test cases and different applications, and one person has to run those if the CI/CD concept is not there, the continuous integration part. So you make sure want to show that part as well.
Shamsubai, in our class, Selenium IDE did not cover. So if they ask if interview time, if anybody interview or ask about the Selenium IDE or Selenium Grid, so what would be answer for that?
Oh, Selenium IDE. So you know what is IDE? Integrated Development.
So simple things. If what do you think they will ask in details for Selenium IDE or Selenium Grid, or simply what is?
Yeah, they do actually. There is a question actually might be asked like, okay, what tools you use, what the environment tool you use to develop your script. So you make sure you want to add the
Because Firefox don't have
Eclipse, or any tools, maybe NetBeans, Eclipse. You want to mention Eclipse. Eclipse is the one that everybody use most likely, a lot of people. But TestNG, sorry, not TestNG. What is the other one? IntelliJ, right? IDE.
yeah, Eclipse and IntelliJ. That is a editor for programming
Right.
editing. But how about Selenium Grid? But if they ask about the Selenium ID, do you have any experience in the Selenium ID? Yeah, Selenium ID. If they ask about what is this, we can definitely we can make the answer. But the main thing is if they ask in details how to make a script, what is CLC, so that time we will be stuck in there because we don't have that much idea for Selenium ID, and also we don't have that much idea for Selenium Grid. But right now Selenium Grid nobody are using, but Selenium ID maybe for record and run and play, maybe need to know something.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Brother Shojib, I think another thing on our Selenium class is not covered is database testing. Can you
Data,
remember?
Oh, okay, yeah.
last time
So in the next session when you join, MD Alam is going to cover, he's going to answer all the questions related to Selenium. So anything related to specifically Selenium concept, he will cover that. I'm just going through in general, like the
I got it.
yeah.
Okay.
So we want to separate, so that way because he took the class with you, so he knows what he has done. Anything that he has not covered, he's gonna make sure do that. So when I will send the generic resume to all of you today, and go through the resume, any keyword, anything you see on the resume, Google search everything, and just study on it. Make sure this is for everyone. And I'm going to show you quickly what is it look like. So this is the general resume I'll be sending you in few minutes, and it has all the information that a software development engineer in test will be, you know, interviewed by. So you will be getting all this info. Make sure you go through all this. You don't have to know all these details, but at least you can say something about, if they ask you what is sauce lab, right? So you know what is sauce lab. Or if they ask you, okay, I developed, uh, uh, test plan, what is test plan, they might ask you something on your resume quickly. Maybe not the technical person, but other people may ask you, okay, I see, let's say brother Azad or Shazib is in the interview panel, and they are only doing a manual testing, but they are in the interview panel. You don't know who is there, right? They just want to hear this person has experience in the software development life cycle or not. Eh, so they might not ask you about anything in technical, but they might ask you, can you tell me what is functional testing is? You mentioned about functional testing, or what is positive or negative testing. So you want to make sure you know this keyword. You can just say in one sentence, like, okay, functional testing is the testing that tests the functionality of the application, right? Or that the the keyword itself give us the definition. So you just want to briefly, tell the interviewer, make sure they understand what you're saying. So go through the entire resume. And in the resume there are company A, B, C, and just these are like for you to understand. Usually typical resume would look like this. So you want to go through all the keywords you see. Most likely you will see the keyword in a, you know the uppercase, or it's also in bold. The all the keyword in uppercase, starting with uppercase, take a look at those and just go through it. But you want to, in the
Another
introductory part, you want to do only what you are comfortable of saying. And when you say things in the introductory about yourself, you want to make sure that, okay, I want to mention, whatever the job requirement they have, and what I'm expert on it, and make sure you covered everything that are related to the job requirement. So this is the resume I will be sending out, and you should have it in a few minutes. Okay, let me share it with you right now, so you have it. uh, copy that.
Other Shamsu,
Yeah.
one thing, that thing is there is so many keyword. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so actually, like cucumber. Okay, so when we make the history for for interview purpose, so where I need to participate, where I need to mention I have good hands-on experience, where I need to mention I was involved this session. So that is also important for keyword, because like cucumber, I don't have that much idea, I don't have that much hands-on experience. So that time, what I would be explain to them, because I cucumber I have very little bit idea, so I don't have that much idea. So
No,
in
no,
that,
you don't have to be expert on cucumber or any other language, but as long as you highlight that, okay, I'm an expert, I know Java and I'm good at it, but they're not going to ask you advanced level, like, a developer does. More likely, if they ask you, that means they are looking for very expert, who the person is either a developer in the past, or maybe knows a lot more about Java, not only core Java, they are one beyond core Java. So those job, they're not gonna take your resume anyway. Those people only take your resume, they want to just hear about, okay, anything you mention on your resume, about that, you can implement it. So you can say, okay, I know cucumber, I can, I have designed the report using a cucumber, and mention those keywords that you use. Few keywords, I think, when and there are 9 or 10 keywords, I think, in there, and you want to mention few of those, so that tells, okay, this person knows about it. uh, like, for example, also for the SQL, you want to mention about joining, select, if they ask you. And also you want to mention in your brief introductory. Basically, in the introductory session, this is what you want to cover, right? You want to, this first thing, you want to make it as a story. you know uh, I've been working in the software development test industry for many years. uh, Specify that time or years you want to and then you want to include the anything that's listed here. So uh, this is the interviewer is going to read through this part, and then go through briefly about your resume, look into it. Then no one is going to read the entire resume. I myself, I never read entire resume. I just go through the keyword. So yesterday we took an interview, as I mentioned at the beginning of the time, and I didn't have the resume. My manager did not send the resume, and he called me 15 minutes early, say, okay, we have a person coming for interview, and I forgot to send you the resume. So he just hand over copy of the resume, and we just went through the resume briefly, see what is in there, and then based on the person summarize their introduction, we just asked the question, and the person did very well in the introductory part, but did not do well on the specific question asked. So I think most of you are concerned about like a specific question, technical part. So you will be getting all these uh, question answered by sometime before we even start the face to face interview. So face to face, either web, I mean, if anyone wants to meet and do a in person interview, that also welcome. If not, we can do a video interview, so we can actually see the eye contact and how you actually doing it in front of the audience. So that is something you want to do, even if you answer the question here right now on this session, but you may not be able to do it as good as you're doing it today. So just think of like this is all about practice and knowing the keywords. So you want to make sure you do follow this resume and go through everything, every single keyword, everything you see. Just Google search of anything that you just to get a brief of understanding what are they. So there is a Tomcat is mentioned here, so we know Tomcat, Hibernate, Maven. So just they might ask you, what is Maven, why we use it, what is Tomcat, what is do you know what is Tomcat? Some people are just gonna say like in general, like okay, like as if they are talking to you, not a interviewer. They're not anyone else than like you and me. They are like general people like us. So they are not expert of on everything. They just want to hear how you say it, what you saying, is it relevant or not. Some people may ask you, okay, you mentioned something in your resume, you did cloud based automated testing. I don't know, can you explain me what it is? This question someone can ask, and you want to briefly describe that, and that person, maybe he doesn't know what you are saying, but he want to hear from you. But the other technical person is there who can actually, okay, yeah, this person actually answering all this. So this is like a cross communication between interviewer and you. So
You are breaking.
oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, so make sure you
You are breaking.
uh I don't know why I'm breaking.
You're still breaking.
How about now? Hello, brother Azad?
Hello.
Yeah, now it's
Yes. You're breaking up. I think you mute or.
no. I'm not mute. I mean, I
Oh.
muted and unmuted, so I thought.
Okay. Now is I'm hearing.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I think it's just
In,
temporary hiccup.
yeah. In addition to that, what you are describing, in addition to that, are you planning to give in any kind of interview format with the question and answer? Let's say it's introducing yourself or tell me yourself, and answer is this. Just covering with the
Oh
keyword
yeah,
basically.
for the
Are you planning
practice
to that?
purpose. Yeah, for the practice purpose, yes, there will be a generic question will be sent to each of you. So but
I have seen for manual testing, you already provide some of the question and answer in the portal, but I don't know how about the automation testing. So for automation testing, so Cyberbullion will provide the question and answer and all of the stuff.
yeah, I mean, we will give you the some of the question. I think MD Alam is going to provide you specifically for the automation part, and he's going to share with you whatever he has got. I think he has a very high level of question that we will be starting on, but all the questions is based on the this resume or any software
Yes.
test engineer.
So Brother Alam, yeah, Thursday who is going to take the class? So Brother Alam or you?
So
Coming Thursday.
every time, let me give you the first thing first. One thing is, like, every time you join this session is gonna be this is the link we'll be using. I think it is the link. Save that link on you, so you don't have to, like, look for the link and uh, how to join the session. So make sure you save that link, and it is on the uh, hangout. I think the alarm already shared, and if you scroll it up, it's in somewhere in the top also, or you can do a search on the chat window. So that one thing. And then second thing is, like, the boot camp slot, and just go through visit this one every day. Try to make it, click on that link on your phone. If you're connected, I believe everyone has a hangouts on their phone, right? So just click on that link, see, view this page, and see who is scheduled it. So every the Wednesday, this session will be conducted Wednesday and the Saturday. So Saturday will be more of like Selenium, like specifically for automation Selenium question. uh, any question you have, you will be asking, and make sure you get answer for that and clear of all the things that you might have. So we'll be repeating that over and over. The reason why we are doing it, so that way by the time we finish this session, until I think the 11th. If we need to do more, we'll do that. But uh, you will be enough expert on by then to answer about yourself or any question that you have, and I'm sure you'll be ready. And anything that you don't understand technically, like, okay, you want to do something in Eclipse, or a project that you have it, Brother Alam is gonna take care of that on Saturday. So make sure you join Saturday and be able to, you know, uh, get everything you need. Apart from that, all the slots in there. So we had like a couple of slots already gone. Nobody actually booked those to do the mentoring. I encourage all of you to start doing it now on, because we want to start the phone screening interview, because that's, like, I think everyone is supposed to do, like, uh, 4 to 16. Let me open that boot camp. Um, where,
Brother Samsu,
yeah.
I have just one question or request. Is that possible to make the Saturday class on morning time around 10 to 12?
Morning time, I think I think there is a problem on the morning time. But the thing is, like, let's say, I think as Brother Azad mentioned in the first session, I think on the weekend, you might have a advantage of taking on the morning session, but other people may not be available in the morning. uh, so if it doesn't block you with something, try to come and join on that time, because something that you want to take full advantage of out of it. If we want to do it on Saturday, maybe that's going to conflict with other schedules. So on the morning time, there are several other slots in there. uh, I will convey that message to MD Alam, see if he can manage that on morning. So I took a note of it, see if he's available to do that. Other than that,
Because of you guys are working on the Saturday and Sunday is a weekend, right? So if before we have a class on Saturday morning, for that purpose, I have just some schedule on the evening time, So I think as your wish, but I think I
okay, okay,
can't attend on Saturday evening for the
okay.
other
We'll
reason
discuss
because.
that about that, and on the hangout, we're gonna.
Sorry for that, sorry for that because of I am trying to be schedule myself, but
Do you
you
work on
know,
the in the evening like 7 to 9?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Got it. I will mention that, and if everyone is comfortable with the schedule, other than 7 to 9, then I think, and if MD Alam is also available because he has another session going on the 10 to I think sometime in 3 or 2:30.
Or you guys, or maybe work on 9 to 11 or whatever the schedule on this time.
So on the this Saturday, if you are available, ask MD Alam if he can actually move the schedule different day. If not, I think he.
Or a weekday is okay for me. Is a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay, so this has to be done for everyone. So it's not like uh, if you are available on the weekday.
Yeah, I understand. It's not only for mine. There's a lot of guys are involved on this schedule. So that's
Okay,
why
okay, yeah.
just it's my request, and not for the other things. You know,
Okay, got you.
you understand that.
Okay. Okay, so the so try to put this. So make sure you try to join the sequel that Jakir is presenting on this Saturday morning, and ask make it interactive, ask question, so that way when you ask question and do inquiry about certain things, that makes you to talk. So the more you talk, the more comfortable you will be at the interview. So this is all about interaction, and as so that's make sure you do that and try to
Uh, uh,
day.
yeah, I have another things, Brother Samsu. Whenever I classed any other, school, and I was using on VMware workstation through Oracle. And is that okay for me or everybody to, you know, contact
No,
the
no, no.
classes?
As long as yeah. I mean, I don't know if I think Brother Azad knows when I we did the first session on UFT. I think we did it on a VM. So as long as you can able to share your screen, there is no problem. I think.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, and not only share his screen and obviously the voice part as well.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, try to fill up all this empty slot if you can.
I already
Well,
fill it out
okay.
as
And
long
also
as
I
I
want to
can.
mention this 24 don't before 24 hours this will be removed from here. So make sure after 20, because a lot of people will be joining, maybe other folks from the other team, they want to hear the class. So you might be seeing other people in the session as they will be presenting other
If
classes.
if I want to change anything else, so what can I do
Do it before 24
about this?
hours like ahead, because otherwise uh, everybody has a plan for it. So if you change it like an hour before, I mean, we are prepared for that, and someone from cyberbullion is going to be there watching this and recording the audio.
Okay,
Yeah, make sure that, you do it. We'll give you feedback based on every session you do, all of you. What is something that you can improve. So every time you do something, there is a chance for you to improve for the next session, and you will see
okay,
the more you do, the better it will be the next one. So
okay.
try to fill those in. I think after 2 3 weeks we are trying to see if we can actually schedule a couple of interviews. Some of you are actually very good at answering all the questions and telling about yourself. So we might ask you to schedule it as a.
Yeah, there's the good things for us. Brother Shajib, he was also mentioning that if you give us any kind of generic answer, then it's good for us.
Yeah.
It's because of a lot of topics we need to conduct and we need to mention.
Actually, Shamsu bhai, one thing is very important, that is like what is Selenium. So most of the guys, they want to learn from the online. So if we learn from the online, so we need to memorize like that. Actually, I don't want to memorize. I want to know actually what is Selenium. I want to make answer myself like generic answer. So it will be helpful for memorizing. So in the class, if I don't understand about any question, that time I will ask to you or ask to Badar Alam about the question. Actually, what is this? Actually, what real time actually what is doing for that. Some of the answer is totally we cannot able to edit, and some of the answer is like real, that is based on real time. So like Adil Bhai, before he mentioned he did report those things. So those related question actually we need to know from you. Yeah, we are getting knowledge from you. So yes, those things if you make the note, so that will be helpful for us also.
Okay. Yeah, I took a couple of notes in there. So yeah, I will be sending those to Alam and other folks to give you the answers to those questions. But this discussion every time we do it more, because today is the first, so we are not as much as getting. But eventually, maybe from next week, there will be a lot more generic question or specific to the course. I mean, subject matter. We'll discuss and get answer. But when you do that, make sure you take a note of those keywords, because the answer is basically those keywords you're throwing into the sentence that you are saying. So every sentence you are saying, you're referring some high level keywords. You don't want to describe like, okay, automation is this and this and that, and this is for testing to make it more user uh, user friendly for the manual tester. You don't want to go very detail about it. You just want to mention the specific part of why we are doing an automation, because we want to make the process
Last
faster.
last time, one thing I mentioned to the class, that thing was like if you make like 30 question for a 1 week or 40 question a 1 week, and you just provide to us, we just follow all of the question. If we have any opinion for those question, we just make add more things in the under the question, like what is selenium. You give like 50 question and we send us provide us. So we will read all of the question and try to understand. And number one, what is selenium? So whatever you write, under you writing, I write here selenium is that. I write my name. Zakir Bhai, he wrote his name. So in that way, we can understand all of the guys what they are understanding. So we can coordinations for their knowledge also. So if you provide the question before going to class, that time it will be helpful, because if you ask question randomly, so that time it will be sometimes we don't know, we don't have a preparation for those questions. If you sign up before like 30 question or 40 question, we just prepare those questions, make some more information on those questions. So it will be also helpful for us. I don't know. So how about
Yeah, okay. I understand your concern. The main idea is here to not to memorize the question, right? The idea is to uh, anything that's you assume you are facing an interview. You don't get prepared yourself a specific question. You just want to know overall the scenario of automation and general of software testing itself. So whenever anyone can ask you, you don't know what question will be asked in the interview. So that's why we want to practice this more and more, so that way you are comfortable in answering this. Anything that you did not say, we'll mention it. Okay, you should say this in this way. You should mention, you started from scratch. You develop hybrid framework. You use Jenkins for continuous integration. You use Bamboo or some other the tools. So anything that you did not mention, we want to tell you, give you a feedback of, okay, you should have mentioned this. But yeah, definitely you will get those general questions, like uh, more like
Last time I shot out some of the contents, like there is Selenium WebDriver, Jenkins, so Git, GitHub, Maven, TestNG, Cucumber. So all of the kinds of contents have like 10 to 15 questions. Which question generally, not generally, that is directly what is Selenium. So that is we cannot make history. So we directly have to give the answer what is the Selenium. So those kind of questions if you make before, like for Selenium or they were like 20%, that is very crucial question in the interview time. Mostly like for 50% question will become for those question. You just provide cyberbullying provide before going to the class. That time we just read over and over and try to understand, try to memorize those things. And in the class, we need to cooperation, whatever we understand with the teacher. So that time, that is another way for memorizing and for understanding. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you in one way, but other way I don't, because we when I ask you is general, let's say in the next session I'm gonna randomly ask you a question. I don't want you to prepare for that question. I want you to be prepared overall, everything. Read through that resume, go through that resume and get all those keywords. I want to hear from you. You are confident enough to speak up something uh, about yourself, about the resume, about you, what have you done, and not to think of, okay, I went, this is not an exam kind of thing. You have to think of, this is a conversation. Interview is a conversation between the interviewer and the candidate, right? So this just, you want to make a relationship when you go to the interview. You want to make a relationship as if this is a conversation. They like you when they talk to you, not like as it like, okay, I am a student, came to the exam. If you ask me a question, I will answer it. If my answer is correct, I get 100% of the score, and then I probably get hired. This is not the way it actually works. It's more of conversation. You are talking to the people you will be working, because after the interview, if you get hired, you're not going to be like being treated as a student, that okay, this person just got hired and we have to uh, make sure give him this task and help him to uh, develop the script, because they might be hiring you to start the automation from the scratch. So they are going to depend upon on you to be able to build a automation framework. So don't think as a exam. Think of more of a conversation, just like now we are talking. So uh, yeah, so that's the one reason why I don't one think like give question ahead of the class, because you will be receiving in general all the questions and starting through this global resume. So we want to know, when I ask you a question about a specific thing, I want to hear from you, know something about it, okay, be able to answer it. And by doing that, you are more likely be able to answer at the interview, and it's going to be very easy for you. You don't have to memorize. Don't memorize anything. Try to understand it and be able to provide answer based on your understanding, because when you memorize it, there is a higher chance you might make a mistake by, okay, I memorized this little bit, I forgot, and I just mismatch all my sentence. And interviewer, if they are expert on what you're saying, then they might, okay, think, okay, this person is just like maybe memorize the question, so it's easy for them to recognize. Whereas you just saying what you don't have to be expert on saying thing, but at least you are technically capable of giving the they are asking you. But yeah, definitely you will get the question, all the questions in details, and maybe I don't know if the answer also as well, but that will be given by MD Alam. So don't worry about that. But for now, focus on this resume. Go through this resume. Try to see, if you don't understand, Google it and get the idea of it. And when you get the idea, in the next session, you will be little bit more confident about answering things. You will realize that in couple of sessions, as you did like in the first. Remember the first class, Java class you started, and think of the last class. Same thing goes for the Selenium. When you started the first one, think of the last one. The more we do, the more confident we gather. So uh, make sure you spend enough time reviewing this resume, and join these sessions, all these sessions, because when the Jakir do the mentoring on SQL, he's going to cover a lot of stuff that you might not know. So you might get okay, the Jakir mentioned okay about inner join or outer join or right join. Okay, I want to know what is right join or inner join, or something like a, union or something. You want to get the main idea. Okay, what is the more core relationship of the specific statement that Jakir mentioned. So if you say, right join, you make sure you understand what is right join or what is the select dot star mean. And as soon as you understand that, in the interview you don't have to memorize. All you have to say, okay, I did the joining that. uh, Right join is the combining two tables and getting the information from the right table and whatever matching from the left table, or something that makes sense to the interviewer. You don't have to be expert on SQL to perform your job for automation, as long as you know the basic of SQL query and joinings. So yeah, so going back to this document, make sure you do that. I think somewhere in here there will be an interview slot will be created for the mock interview preparation, and make sure you choose those date as well. And I have few other things I think I should share with you. Is one of them is the YouTube channel. You guys are getting this document, right? This has a list of all the videos that's recorded, and you have access to this. So this is the document actually has all the video links. If you don't have a chance to go to the YouTube channels, so here is the YouTube channels that you all visit. So if you go to this uh, link, YouTube channels link, and if you click on it, it's going to take you to the YouTube, right? And all the videos will be listed in here. uh, it's coming, I think, playlist. So whatever you have access to it, you will be seeing all these videos and you can see it. And click on subscribes to it, so that way you will be receiving all the notification automatically whenever there is a new videos uploaded. uh, do that. And uh, fill all the slots for your you know the session, mentoring group session, whatever you're missing from the list, that document you have for the boot camp. And try to do it as early as possible so you are better prepared for the uh, job market. We are trying to fill up the interview sessions, so we know, we can tell, okay, if you are ready for market, because you may not need all the sessions. Some of you may have to go more sessions. It depends on how you do it throughout this whole camping process. uh, Another thing I think I have was giving, so you have the YouTube channels. Make sure you do the group mentoring and tutoring, attend all these. uh, and the when you show the mentoring, you make sure you follow the instruction from the, I think it's in the hangout, list of topics you should be covering. Because if you cover all these topics, let's say you want to do a SDLC part, right? And if you cover all this, you are maybe ready for the SDLC question, interview question. Because before you doing, you most spend like at least 2-3 hours to go through all this, whatever you want to cover, make an outline of it. Let's say, okay, I want to cover all this in outline, and you will be doing your own research based on these topics. So by the time you do it, you are more confident of giving the information that will also help you explaining any answer for the interview. So that's the whole idea of doing mentoring, group sessions, and tutoring. So that way you're getting all this information over and over. And join the session. When you join it, you have a chance to hear from others, how they are explaining, and ask question. So cross communications always help preparing for the interview. uh, Apart from that, I think I don't have anything else. Okay, one other thing I forgot to mention about, make sure those of you who did not submit your resume, do that, because starting from next week we'll be working on that, and giving you out your resume. And the agreement paper is going to come in few days, and What else? Anything else you want me to take a note? I know you mentioned about the question and answers. Tell me about yourself and what else you have mentioned. Anything you'd like me to keep a note of it so you know in the next session we give you a lot more information.
Basically, that's prior to interview, that the question and answer is most important, so people can homework on their side prior to go through that interview session, and you can say that okay, this guy is doing homework perfectly, and it will be succeed that in interview level. Because the keyword, if you are covering everything, you will be mess up. So keyword is most important, and basically briefly you have to
Okay.
mention. So if we get
Yeah.
a proper answer,
Hmm. I think there is a breaking. Um, Brother Azad, I get this. I think is connecting again.
Brother, can you send me this resume at our
Oh
Google
yeah,
Drive?
yeah. This one already I shared with you, right? If you click on that, if you go to Hangout, you should be able to see. Is the link
uh,
generic
So,
resume?
brother
brother,
James, brother
Uh,
Shamshu,
Yeah.
I
the link you are given for YouTube channel, if I click on that, it won't show up
did not
anything.
see. Yeah, me too.
It
It
said
doesn't
that
give
channel
you.
does not have any
No, I
content.
did not see any content.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
Under home video playlist, there is this
Nothing
channel does
else.
not have any content.
What about the playlist?
Yeah,
Playlist
it's
also
the
the same thing.
same thing.
The channel has no playlist.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay, I'm
I
gonna
can share it.
access maybe.
okay. I'll take it
Maybe
to
some
Generic
yes.
and share with you all again.
You want me to share my screen?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Let me give
Yeah,
you.
yeah, same thing. Yeah.
Uh,
Make you presenter. Okay. Yeah.
let's see. You see my screens now?
Yeah, we see it. Yeah. Is this the email ID you use? Okay. Click on videos, playlist, channels. Nothing coming.
Nothing comes up. I just refresh as well.
Okay. Can you type after the .com? Can you type cyberbullion instead of this task? Take up the discussion. Take up the discussion part or discussion. You clicked on it, right? Take the slash out.
It doesn't have. This channel does not have any content.
So how do you get
Maybe
the? How do you watch
I
the
was
videos?
looking also subscribe, but I already subscribed that.
Okay, okay, okay. So
You
you
see
should
that.
be able to. You should be receiving the. Interesting. So when
I know it's there. I saw that your screen is there. Everything is there. But for us, I think Jakir also.
Even the same thing with me.
okay, okay. Can
Ah,
you
okay.
can you click on that
This is
the
not a same channel. They made it before, like a couple of days ago. So that channel doesn't have any video. I think you are looking. You need to looking for the another one.
okay video?
What is? Can you repeat? Who is this?
I'm Masood. So I saw this channel. They made it like a couple of weeks ago, and when they made it, they didn't posting any video. And the new
But,
channel they make it like 1 week
but
ago.
how come we see that brother Shamsu has all the list? It's the
Okay,
Yeah,
same
can
link.
when you go to their link and you can see the all the video. but this is their different channel.
Was
There is only
same
one channel.
same
There is
link,
only one channel.
same link, brother Shamsi was brother Shamsi, you are connecting with the same link that you are giving us, right?
Yeah. Same link. Yeah.
So how come our
When
same link is
I go their video link without any searching to YouTube channel, but I can show this video.
Okay, brother
no?
Azad.
We understand that.
Can
We
you do me a
understand that
favor?
there
Can
is
you
a video.
click on that Hangout link just shared? Video link.
Right.
Yeah,
Click on that.
yeah,
Yeah, when you go to the Hangout and you can see the video.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you
yeah.
something. You click on that, and okay, when you do that, it takes you direct you to that link. Okay, click on any of those video link. Just any.
Oh, it's there. But how? What is the difference? I see that now, but it's not a YouTube from list. What is the difference? Yours and ours.
No. I want to check something. Why it's not coming? Because maybe I was logging as. Yeah, click on that link, and okay, so you are on YouTube dot. Okay, it doesn't take you to the channel, and okay, can you scroll it down? Can you scroll it down? Scroll it down.
Can you check it out when they
Like
are posted
click
this
There is
on.
video?
something.
Okay, click on more on the where it says cyber and below. Go down below and more. Yeah, it's saying more, right? Click on that. Show more. Okay.
This
Nothing
is
there.
April 9. They posted this
Click on
video April 9.
cyberbullion. Click on the cyberbullion here, the logo and name. Yeah, below. Yeah, right here. And now click
Nothing.
show more on the left side. Show more on the left. Okay. Playlist.
Playlist. As soon as we go to YouTube, we don't see anything.
Okay, all right. That's a good thing. I'm gonna take a note of it. But for now, use that link I sent you, the document that has a list of the link to all the videos. I think
Sure.
something I
Obviously,
can change.
that's to me it's access level because you see I saw same link you are using, and you have everything is there.
Yeah, I think the reason for this is the private video because these are not public. It's only we are all seeing those videos, all the students and us, right? Whoever is enrolled. So that is might be the reason why the channel is not showing you. That's why use this document. I sent you all the links. This document will be added.
You guys need to give us access to that video.
Right. Okay, so use that link. Make sure you save that link in your browser. So every time you go there, there will be more links will be added for now, unless we fix this. But this is more of like all the link to the class. So
Okay. Can you find out what is the problem in here directly to go? This is a kind of go there and click on this and go there, click on this.
understand.
Instead of going here directly in the channel, and we can play from there from the playlist.
Right. The Brother Murshid shared a document how to watch the video. Does it?
The brother was
Social, I think social or something is saying.
no, his link was in from the Gmail, but
Mhm.
from Gmail, but
Okay, yeah, I will take that note also, yeah, because we need to
okay,
figure out this. This might be easier way to do that, but for now, use this link to watch it until we fix this.
sure. Meantime, we will do it, but take a look at what the reason of this.
Yeah. Also, yeah. Apart from that, I think I don't have anything else, and I think we covered everything we need.
So, brother Hamza, today question and answer session. When you want to go? When you going to post it on the portal?
Sorry.
When are you going to post today link?
Link. I did it.
Question answer session. When are you want to send to us?
Question and answer session. I mean the video. This video.
Yeah. This video. Yeah.
This video as soon as it's ready is going to be on this document. You will see another table, another actually box will be there with the link. So yeah, it will be there. Okay, maybe sometimes by tonight. Okay, and apart from that, I think we are good for tonight. And make sure you go through that resume and the the bootcamp slot, fill up all those and try to visit this document frequently, see who is actually mentoring or tutoring, and try to join in there and ask as many questions as you want, so that way more communication built on it. And we'll meet again on Friday, Saturday, if nothing goes wrong or if we change anything. We'll communicate through the hangout. So I'll ask MD Alam if he can actually change the time, and also I'll give the all the information that you gave me forwarded to him, so he will provide the input. And until then, we'll meet again. Okay.
Okay, brother. So yeah, please try to remember. Yeah, so we need one sample copy for for tell me about yourself and role and responsibilities
Sure,
Yes,
sure, sure,
brother.
sure.
for the
We
project
definitely need a one sample copy. Tell me about yourself.
Yeah.
and for the project. Okay.
Right. Right.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Okay. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.